Boys and girls. Okay, a bit of a longer video tonight, and I'm going to be harping on a bit, but I need to tell you something, so stick around. Yaku's GMAM is now finally wired up. The only thing that I'm still battling with is the smoker. I found something that works. I'll show you guys now. But yes, I am nearly there. Now, as life goes, it's never straightforward, you know. So George, who owned the other Garratt that I brought in a year or so ago, he phoned me and said to me, "Rickers, I want to sell that loco." And after a little bit of toing and throwing, I bought the loco from him. So now, what's better than one Garratt? 2 Garratts. Now, this is the one that you know, that's been on YouTube and all over the place. Now, with a moose gesukkel, because this is the box here, I got it out. This one is digital moss, and it's got everything in it, smoke and all that. But now, seeing that it's mine now, I'm going to hammer this thing with detail, put all the little things on that I've done on Yaku so far, plus a little bit of extra stuff. You know, it's small little things like this. We've printed these, we designed and printed this. This is the lubricator. You know, it's small little things like that that we're going to now add on. Lots of pipes on that one. I'm going to do, this one is going to work plenty. Mine will be more standing around looking pretty than anything else. I'm going to hammer that thing with pipes and stuff. And then also, I showed you this. I can't remember if I showed you the motor and stuff for the mechanical stoker. Now, I will do that one, add a little bit of here and there, and boom, 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 boom. All right, okay, so now to get back to the smoker side of things, I decided to put a bigger smoker in them because I want them to smoke. Now, a lot of guys, I think, was like, but why? Why? Well, it's a steam engine and it's a Garratt. It needs to smoke. It needs to smoke a lot. So what I want to show you now is the difference in output between a USA Trains 5-volt smoker and this thing that I'm creating here that's got a 10 ohm resistor in it, and now with a brand new relay there, so I can switch this to track power. There's the decoder. And, you know, you will see not just the difference in output of smoke, but also because the fan's much stronger. I'm using a 24-volt fan. It pumps it. It pumps it quite a bit. So let's, without further ado, let me show you the difference. If we go, I'm not going to put the sound on that one. Let's go like that. All right. And then that one, here there's a lot of like that. Okay, we can actually put the sound on. So we have, all right, so if you look at the top one there, that's running a USA Train smoker. That, let's do it like this. I'm going to run it on a very slow speed step so that you can see the puffs. See, that's what we got there. And then if I do the same with the bottom one here, you'll see the difference in smoke output. Look, mine takes a little bit longer than, you know, to heat up. But you see there the difference in smoke. And not just volume, as I say, in, you know, how it comes out. I think it will look absolutely brutal in that big Garratt. Yeah, I see there. That is quite a difference in output. Both of them has got more or less the same juice in. Yeah, okay, the big smoker will takes about 2 amps out of your power. whereas that small one takes about 800 milliamps, you know, so it's 1.2 amps extra that you got to find somewhere. But I think if we're running the boosters and stuff, we should be okay. I'm not a guy that runs a million trains. I think it's unrealistic. That runs a million trains at one stage in any case. I normally run my stuff one by one. You know, if you park this thing, you switch everything off, you can carry on with business as usual. Run the other ones. Boys, that's a big difference. Now, I actually need to show you, while they're running, what it looks like here. That was all mishaps and stuff that just, you know, burns off. You know, wig is the biggest problem. And then I actually spoke to a guy that does Lionel smokers, and I spoke to a couple of other guys. Thanks to those dudes that came back to me, Dave McGregor being one of them. He said to me, but why are you wrapping the resistor with a wig? Because, you know, that's normally what they do. You know, they wrap either the rope wig, this stuff, they wrap either that around the wig, or like me, this stuff. I even tried fiberglass, just that doesn't suck up enough juice. I've tried everything, boys. I've tried everything. So, the main reason being, where that thing turned around the element, it doesn't draw up enough fluid to be wet enough to not burn off once you start running low on fluid, if you know what I mean. So, he said to me, no. You need to find a wig, high quality wig, cotton, that will soak up a lot of fluid, and you let the resistor lie on top of it. Okay? It's the safest option, number one, because it's not really inside the wig. So when it does run dry and it burns stuff, you know, off, or it starts burning stuff, it's not wrapped around it. And you've got stuff that's burning and actually falling off into the little bit of fluid that's left there, or whatever. Let me just switch this off. You understand what I'm saying? That's a big difference in smoke, eh? All right. And I said to him, listen, have you got any options for me? And he said to me, listen, try the MTH. They got a very good wig. Try the Lionel wig. They're very good. Wara. And then another guy came back to me out of Austria, and he said to me, no. I can't do an Austrian accent. Okay, let's just stick to my accent. All right. And he says, listen, man, no. Go to the vape shops and get yourself a high-quality wig. And he gave me a name, and lo and behold, I could get it locally. It's called, I don't know where I put it. Yeah. It's called Cotton Bacon. This stuff. Now, let me show you what it looks like. It looks like this. Each one is that length, that sort of thickness, and you fold it double like that and put it inside the smoker. I use 2 of them in this big smoker, and trust me, it sucked up 30 milliliters of fluid in like this, like that. It was gone. So that thing always has a lot of fluid in it. Even if you run very low in the tank itself, like it is now, there's still enough fluid in there not to burn anything. Now, I've run this smoker now for 7.5 hours. You couldn't live in this place. 7.5 hours, and the net result, well, you see how hot that gets. It melts this little box. My biggest problem is the box at the moment. I'm going to go for let's just open this. Let me show you what 5 hours of working, 6 hours, did to my things. It did nothing. You know, and I ran it ultra dry at one point, just to check if there's no flames or anything coming out of it. So you see there's very little fluid left there, but this thing, check if I push it, is nice and wet. Now 6 hours in, from where I started to where this is absolute, there's no burns, it's just the colorization of that thing, and most of it comes from this box here, the vapor that comes off the thing there. That's how much it burns it, and that's that. And you've just checked now how it smokes. It is awesome stuff. So I reckon, he says to me, at what we're doing here, at the temperatures we're running more or less, he reckons you have to re-wig it after about 500 or 600 hours of running. You should re-wig them. He says you probably still have smoke, but you, just for safety's sake, not safety's sake, just for maximum smoke, for it to be efficient, still, re-wig it then and just, And now, if I do this, this is actually very hot still. Shit. If I take this out here, and I just turn it like that, and put it back in there, away from the burn mark there, it's good to go. While it's there and it sucks up juice, this thing's good to go. So I can't see that you would use tons and tons of wig over there. And the other plus point is, this is something like 40 Rand. And there's like 8 of them in here or something. So you will go years with one little bag like this. To me, but that's not the only reason why I was worried about the wigs. That resistor gets so hot, this thing here. It gets so hot. Now, all this residue that you see on it here came from all these ropes and things that I burned off. I'll put a new one in here when I built the new smoker for Yaku's one. But you have none of that in the fluid. Because I burn diesel at the moment, you have none of that. That's actually rope and stuff that burned onto it. Now, I reckon this resistor has now got 7-8 hours on it. Okay, a little bit more because I've used it on one of the other smokers as well. It still works perfectly. I'm not too sure how long that's going to last, but if we get 300 hours runtime out of a resistor, I'm happiness. They cost next to nothing. You just put a new one in and off you go. All right. But the biggest thing with this wig here now is it gives me a little bit of a safety net, because it extended the time that the thing can actually run between fills. With rope and all this other shit, that thing with a full tank ran 5 minutes and it was dry. It just kept on sucking it in. I don't know why. Now with that, I can put more in. I can put 30 mil in there, suck it up with the thing, and put another 30 mil in there. So I can probably put 60, 70 mil in that bowl. It can run for 15 to 20 minutes, and it remains wet. 15 to 20 minutes on a full charge. 60 mil. Runs about 20 minutes. I've done a little bit more, but I don't want to push it. So on the decoder, I will just, it's a beautiful train, eh? I will just do that output, time it out at 6 minutes. So every 6 minutes, when the smoker switches off by itself, you just refill it with 20 ml or so of fluid, and off you go until it stops again. All right, now, the other thing that I want to tell you guys, all of you that runs ESU XL decoders and have tried before to maybe use a relay somewhere, will find that it doesn't matter what auxiliary you put that thing on, it hums. It never pulls the relay. I don't know why. It's a bloody nightmare. However, work with me. Auxiliary 7 on the back there. It's the only one out of all of them that shows exactly naught when it's switched off. And that pulls it pulls it cleanly. Click, 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 click. It's only 10 volts too little to pull it. 5 volts obviously is useless. So remember, for future reference, if you oaks want to drive a relay off an auxiliary, you need to use auxiliary 7. None of the others do it. Only auxiliary 7, and I don't know why. If you oaks know, please tell me, because that baffles me like you cannot believe. Auxiliary 7 does it. All right. So, okay. So now what basically happens here is this is auxiliary 7 and U plus on the decoder. It's on the actual coil of the relay. And we've got the track in the middle here. And then we've got the smoker at the top. So whenever that coil pulls in, it clicks it over to track power. And we're running straight 21 volt or whatever's on the track. That's why it smokes so nicely. And a guy asked me, but why do you do that? Why don't you just run it straight off auxiliary 1, which is the strongest of the lot? Problem is, auxiliary 1 is always 5 volt under track power. So I've checked it there. It gives me 14.7 volts there, and I need 21 volts. So 14.7 to 15 is what it gives there, and track power is obviously 21 volts. So I will just, from the pickups here, I will just run 2 extra wires to the smoker straight, as from the as track, and then I will couple it up the same way as I showed you there, and we will run track power. So yes, beautiful. There's a little bit of useless information for you, and yeah, I'm gonna start doing all the little things on Yaku's one. I want to get Yaku's one out first, and then I'll tackle this baby. She's pretty, eh? Now, I will show you in a later video all the little brass etchings that Carl made for me, a local guy here in Pretoria, that does beautiful etchings. And yes, that is it. All right, guys, so have a lovely evening. I am not going to do much further tonight. I'm going home, watch a movie, do bugger all, and then wake up when I want to. Life at the top of the food chain. Okay, see you later, dudes and dudettes. Cheers.